Hello, this is Kenneth Reese with WataugaOnline.com, back with you once again, and our special guest today, Dr. Scott Elliott, Superintendent of Watauga County Schools. And the school year is coming to a close, and that is a sense of relief, I guess, in one way for parents, guardians, students, teachers, educators, and maybe even Dr. Elliott himself. Let's get right to it. There's a lot to talk to. Glad to have you back with me today.
Thank you, Kenneth. It's always good to see you.
Well, let's pick up right there. Is it a sense of relief to some degree that the school year is over?
I have mixed feelings, Kenneth, about the end of the school year, but as we're recording this tomorrow, May the 29th, is the last day of school for this year and the last day for remote learning. It's always bittersweet for me because it's an accomplishment to get through an entire school year and to see how far our students have come and how much they've grown and the hard work of our staff, and to celebrate all of those accomplishments at the end of the year. And on the other hand, it has been just such a different year here these last 6 to 9 weeks. And we aren't getting to celebrate many of those successes in the same way, and we haven't been able to be present in person with our students. So we have mixed feelings about that. But yes, we are glad to be at the end of the school year and to have accomplished as much as we have during remote learning.
I'm glad you mentioned that we are recording this on Thursday, May the 28th. I should have said that to lead off with. So, and as Dr. Elliott just said, tomorrow is the final day for school. The Let's back up a little bit and remind folks that may not have seen our interview from probably 2, maybe 3 weeks ago now. Why are Watauga schools ending on May the 29th as opposed to, I believe it was June the 10th originally? Let's remind folks again why this is happening.
Right. I know that can be a little bit confusing, but when we adopted the school calendar for this year, we would have ended school on May the 22nd. And so schools in North Carolina must attend school for at least 1,025 hours of instruction for students, or at least 185 days. So we attempt to get in as many hours as possible and as close to about 180 days as possible. We would have extended the school year far beyond the 1,025 hours had we not gone into remote learning. But when the governor closed schools, we decided to extend beyond May the 22nd, of course, but to back up to May the 29th. That does a few things. One, I think it ends remote learning at the end of the month of May, allows our high school seniors to have a graduation ceremony on a weekend day right after the last student day. But just as importantly, it gives our teachers an opportunity to have almost 2 weeks of planning, which they are going to need in order to not only wrap up this school year, but to begin planning for the uncertainties of next school year. I appreciate the flexibility that we have in the school calendar law to choose our end date in this way. Obviously, we'd rather be going a little bit longer and having our students with us in person, but that's the reason why we decided to end on May the 29th.
And to clarify, when I said a moment ago that we were originally scheduled in at June the 10th or whatever, that was before the pandemic, and that's including our winter days that we normally miss. And mentioned it in the last interview. Typically, we miss 22 days due to weather, and of course, with COVID-19, however, that just tossed everything out the window. So, as Dr. Elliott said, the school systems were given the flexibility, which was nice because I frankly can't even recall the last time Watauga schools got out in the month of May, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Well, tomorrow is our last day of school, and all of the things that normally would come with it. We have our eighth grade promotion ceremony. So if folks are out and about and near any of our K-8 schools, know that in the afternoon we're inviting all of our eighth grade students to come through the car rider line. We have some special celebrations and awards and certificates, things like that planned for them. And then Saturday is the big day at Watauga High School. We were unable to have an in-person graduation ceremony, even with the move into phase 2 this year, or recently with the governor's move to phase 2. We asked for and received clarification from the governor's office that we still cannot have a large gathering in person for graduation.
Mm-hmm.
But we are planning some special things for our students that will be a little bit of a surprise, weather permitting. And right now it looks like the weather is going to be cooperating with us on Saturday. Students and their families will be able to come in their vehicles, go around the parking lot, and come around to the student rock. I won't give it all away, but they'll have an opportunity to have a special photo opportunity as they cross the stage and get their diplomas. They'll also get a tote bag with a large number of different you know, gifts and certificates and things that have been contributed by the business community, which has been very generous for our students. It's all going to be live streamed too, and I would invite you and all your viewers and readers to go to our school system's website, wataugaschools.org. Very first thing that they will see there is a link to our graduation site. So they can go there right now and see the schedule of the events for Saturday. They can see a recording of the senior awards, but they can also see a link for the live streaming. So we'll begin at 9 a.m. It'll probably take us till 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon to get all 335 of our graduates through. But we would invite the public to watch it on a live stream. And for those grandparents or other family members who can't make it out or unable to attend, that'll be a great way for them to participate.
Yeah, that's terrific, and I'll definitely be sure to pass that along across my outlets in the coming days. Again, we're recording this on Thursday, May the 28th, and it's funny you mentioned the weather on my other screen over here. I was pulling that up right before you said that. If you are going to one of the K8 or rather the eighth grade ceremonies tomorrow, be sure to take an umbrella with you. Right now, it's a 70% chance of showers and storms. Saturday, though, is partly sunny, very slight chance of showers. So it looks good for the high school events. And like I said, maybe the folks can dodge some raindrops tomorrow to see the eighth graders. Uh, it's been a yeoman's effort, to say the very least, for all the teachers and staff and administrators for the last 3 months. I would think maybe a little more added pressure on the principals and eighth grade teachers and parents that are helping organize these eighth grade ceremonies, and of course the high school the 12th graders that are moving on. Can you speak a little bit to what kind of effort has gone underway to make this happen?
Yes, and thank you for saying that about the hard work that all of our folks have put in. This has been significantly more work and presented many more challenges than I think most people realize. But our folks, and especially our principals and our teachers, have really risen to the occasion. The eighth grade event is also going to be sort of a hybrid event like our high school event. I'm just speaking from personal experience. I have a son who's one of those eighth graders who's going through the promotion,
Hmm.
and he will be, I think, later today receiving a link from his school for the video of the awards. So teachers pre-recorded the presentation of certificates, any students who gave speeches, or the musical presentations. All of those were recorded in advance. I think each of the schools have done a version of that. I've given some recorded speeches at a few of those to air in those events. Um, then parents have really helped out with doing decorations and signs and different things. And just like at the high school, local businesses have really pitched in and made donations and contributions for those students and the gift bags that they will have. Again, nothing these last 6 or 9 weeks are the same as they have been in the
Hmm.
past, and this too is a little bit different. But folks have really come together to recognize those eighth graders and celebrate them. All of our students will be getting a Watauga High School sweatshirt that they will have and send them on their way to the high school.
And with the eighth graders, and we're I'm going to schedule another interview with Dr. Elliott in a couple of weeks to talk about what's happening in the fall, because there's so many unknowns, and today's not the day to quite talk about that. But I will say for the eighth graders, I would think there's got to be a little bit more of a sense of maybe nervousness or something to that effect, because not only are they leaving eighth grade, but now they'll be going to high school. And we all remember when going to high school, I mean, that was a big deal. It was a big deal. And quite frankly, if you were not nervous within your first couple of days of going to high school, then, you were not in the norm, because all of us were nervous at that time. So, do you feel like maybe there's a little bit more anxiety or something among these eighth graders making that jump?
Yes, I think that there is. especially because they were unable to have all of the campus visits that they would normally have during their
Yeah.
orientations and pre-registration. But I want to say that Dr. Blanton and the assistant principals and the school counselors at Watauga High School have done some new and different things this year to reach out to those eighth graders. They've had online Zoom meetings or Google Meet
Oh, good.
meetings with eighth graders and their teachers to let them meet some of the teachers and ask questions and begin to get to know the administrators and counselors. And that was a really special touch. There's also been a lot of individual contact from the counselors to the students to help them with their course selections and registration. And
Yeah.
then the school counselors at the K schools have also been working with them. As you said, we don't know exactly what August is going to look like, but we hope to have those students come onto campus before school starts, help them get acclimated and begin to feel comfortable. But there's nervousness, but there's also excitement there too.
And not to leave the 12th graders out. I mean, they have their own different anxiety and nervousness because, you know, several of them will go on to other universities or community colleges. Some will go straight to the workforce. Some may just take some time out to let everything process and figure out the next move in their life. So, I don't want to discredit their anxiety and their upcoming steps because, they're welcome to adulthood and the real world. But
That's right.
we congratulate all the 12th graders on their accomplishments and just what an unbelievable year and the things they will talk about in their life when we get back to a normal. They will always look back at this and know they were part of something unique but yet special.
That's right. And speaking of special, every student and every group of students is special in its own way. But this graduating class really is a special group. I've been with them here since their upper elementary years, and just to see them grow and develop academically and socially, personally, in their leadership and athletics and academics, it's a really special group of students. And so we're happy to get to celebrate with them, and are excited to see what they are doing. One of the reasons that we decided to go ahead with a graduation ceremony rather than waiting, although it's looking more and more like those districts that were waiting are now realizing that they probably won't be able to have a ceremony even come August, but is because of our students who are leaving the area for the workforce and for the military. So
Yeah.
we have a number of students that are already well on their way with their plans. They've been very successful in high school. Um, I think they've earned hundreds of college credits while in high school. And this year we have our first ever student in the Watauga Innovation Academy who is graduating with both a high school diploma and an associate's degree.
Oh, wow.
So this is a graduating class that has its head on straight, so to speak. They're a very mature, grown-up group of young men and women who've handled this whole situation, quite frankly, better than many of us adults have. And we'll stay in touch with them, and we're excited to see where their lives go.
And I'm glad you mentioned that because I had several comments on the Watauga online social media page when it was first announced about the graduation ceremonies. There were some folks expressed concern. Why can't we wait? Well, they should wait. We should do it in August. And I think if you've got to step back and take a breath of fresh air and realize these young people are moving on with their life. They will not be in Boone. Some of them, maybe a majority of them, will not be in Boone, maybe even in June or July or August. So I'm glad you brought that up, and it will be unfortunate for the districts that can't have it, but Watauga is very fortunate. And our bordering counties, I think Avery is doing something tomorrow on Friday as we record this on Thursday, May the 28th. So we're very fortunate that we're able to. I don't want to keep you too much longer. I wanted this to be kind of short today because, again, we'll revisit maybe next week or the week after and talk about the fall because there is a lot to talk about. Um, okay, so let's mention again the website. If you go to wataugaschools.org.
WataugaSchools.org/graduation will take you directly there, but we also have a big banner right on our website. You can watch videos that we have posted there, directions about the graduation ceremony. It's also very important for the students and the parents who are coming. We also have a list of health and safety precautions that we will be following with guidance from App Healthcare or local healthcare department. And you can also go there to live stream the diploma ceremony all day long on Saturday.
And I will make sure to include that link again in several of my outlets as well. One more thing that I think to touch on now will be meals. Again, we need to give a shout out to the cafeteria workers, bus drivers, uh, teachers, administrators, principals that have kept this meal program going here in the county. It has been nothing short of remarkable. Every time I've had an interview with you here, I mean, we mention it, and even now, as we're winding down the regular school year, meals will continue into the summer. Can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, that's right. It has been an incredible effort by those staff members, and thank you for recognizing their hard work. By the end of tomorrow, we will have made and distributed over 190,000 meals since March the 17th. Just incredible.
Wow.
Yeah,
190,000 meals. Let
since
that
March the 17th.
to the viewer, let that sink in for a second. So that's what, 2 months? Is that right? We began this on March, wasn't schools closed around March the 17th, 18th? So in 2 months' time,
Right.
190,000 meals. Unbelievable. So
It,
so it will
it's
continue
incredible.
into the summer.
Yep. So we're going to continue the program at least we hope through July. We will take kind of a stepped down approach where we will move to a 4 day a week meal schedule, and we will condense down to 5 sites rather than 7 sites that we have now. In part, that's in response to a slight decline in the number of meals that we're serving right now. I think that's because of the more folks are now more comfortable being out. People are going
Hmm.
back to work. The EBT benefits that we discussed last time are being very helpful, but we still see that there's a great need. We're also making adjustments based on where the need is. The bus transportation of deliveries will continue, but you can also go to our website, wataugaschools.org, and see an infographic there of where those meal sites are and how those will change. And as we continue to talk through the summer, I'll make sure to update folks on that. I just want to say thank you to all of the community members, individuals, businesses, clubs, and others, including the Watauga Education Foundation and others, some anonymous, who've donated approximately $14,000 to pay off nearly all of that meal debt that students left behind when they left school, their meal charges that they left behind. So, such a generous community. Donations from businesses like Mass General Store and Goodnight Brothers, who've contributed items into those lunches and meals and goodie bags that we give out. It's really been a community-wide effort, and we're looking forward to it continuing.
Yeah, that's astounding as well because our viewers may not realize that every year, uh, and correct me if I'm wrong, but if it's not every year, it's nearly every year, the school system goes into debt on meals that can't be paid back for whatever reason. And I think we have talked about this in a previous interview before, or maybe an article that I've written, but that happens every year. So for that not to be the case this year is outstanding, outstanding. So there again, a tip of the hat to all the businesses and donors and supporters that have helped with that. Again, I want to keep this kind of short today. In closing, is there anything you want to add?
Yeah, just a reminder to all your viewers and readers that we are eager to get all of our students registered for next year. So, especially our incoming kindergarten students, we would ask for folks to go to our website and go to the kindergarten registration website, or give us a call, or call your school where you anticipate that your child will be going. It's really important right now that we know how many children are coming to us next year so that we can budget and staff and hire the right number of teachers. I know we'll talk about this in our next visit. There's a lot of uncertainty and some anxiety about what next school year would look like, but we are hopeful that all of our children are going to come back to school with us and be comfortable coming to school with us, knowing that we're going to take a lot of safety precautions in keeping the facilities and our staff and our students safe. But that's the one thing I would add right now is we need everyone to get registered for next year. If you have a child coming to kindergarten, please go online to register or call your school for more information.
We mentioned kindergarten registration. Let's talk just a minute about pre-K. How how is that being affected?
Yeah, thank you for mentioning that too, Kenneth. So we are very proud that all 8 of our K-8 schools have NC Pre-K programs for 4-year-olds. We are currently accepting applications for those at all of our sites. We ask that parents contact the Children's Center here in Watauga County. They are our NC Pre-K coordinating partner. They accept all of the applications and make the placements. You can call our county central office or any of the K-8 schools, and they'll help you get connected to the Children's Center.
All right, very good. Again, I'll schedule another interview with Dr. Elliott at least 2 weeks out. It may be 3 weeks out. That way, that'll be the middle of June, roughly, and we might know some things about the fall, but really that's going to be up in the air. But I think right now it's important to celebrate the end of the year, celebrate parents, guardians, students, teachers, staff, administrators, principals, and just anyone and everyone that had a hand in helping Watauga County schools finish this year strong and end on a positive note and look forward to the fall.
Yes. Thank you, Kenneth. Congratulations to all 335 of our graduates. Congratulations to all of our teachers and staff who made those graduations and that success possible. And thank you to our entire community for all of your support throughout all of this.
And that is Dr. Scott Elliott, Superintendent of Watauga County Schools. I'm Kenneth Reese, the founder, owner, and operator of WataugaOnline.com. And until next time, stay safe, stay well, and we'll catch you soon.